page as usual. Let's just jump on there. Hey, I'm hoping everyone can now see me live. I think it's telling me I'm live. I'm guessing yes. I'm just going to turn up the volume there. Alrighty. So I know a lot of people have been getting their mixes in their deliveries, so I thought I'd just jump on and show you how to make it live and what the desired look is that you're actually going to be trying to get out of your mixes. So this for me is also the first time that I made it out of the mix. So fingers crossed, it all works out for me as well too. So yeah, you know, it is a very versatile mixture. As you've seen a few of the little sneaky peek pictures that we've been showing, there will be more recipes coming out. I'm going to be basically putting most of them onto my Instagram account, which you can find, I'm just under Megan on my name. And I will be sharing any ones that does, any recipes that anybody makes with them as well. So we think that this is going to be kind of a little bit of a viral kind of product because it is extremely versatile. Like we've done things from like cannoli, dumplings, tortilla chips, your wraps, lasagna sheets. You can do so many things with this mix that I think you're going to just love it. So anyway, I'm going to get started straight away into popping it. I'm just going to mix it in the Thermomix. Now, your instructions always do state like to use a food processor or a bowl. If you're going to use a bowl, just use a good sturdy spatula and mix it in really, really well, and then give it a little bit of a knead till it all comes together in a dough, because that's what you're looking for. So I'm just going to pop my mixture into my food processor. Now, the only 3 ingredients that you need with this product, because some of you I know don't have it, is just 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So why do we put apple cider vinegar in breads, or especially gluten-free breads? We put it in, it actually makes it stronger. So in the way of a wrap, when you go to a really good wrap should have that little bit of pull that it doesn't actually break. So this actually strengthens the bread. So that's why that's in there. You have to put in some water, of course, because we need some moisture for all the dry ingredients, and just 1 egg to bind. So very, very simple ingredients to have with this mixture. And at the moment, I think I've got the link. I'm hoping it's worked. Yes, you can get it online at Keto Eats, and I've also put the premix product page on for our website where you can actually find stockists. So there might be a stockist near you listed on our page that you can buy this direct from it. So yeah, you only need 3 ingredients for it. So I've got to put in my 45 mils of warm water, and cold water, it doesn't matter. 10 mils of apple cider vinegar. I always use the one with the mother because it's apparently better for us. So I got 10 mils in there, and just 1 large egg. I usually use the 700 gram free range eggs. Always better to use free range. Tastes better and the better for the poor old bird. Anyway, I'm going to just pop my lid on there. On the premix page, you'll actually see I even have, can I make it in my Thermomix? And you can mix anywhere. I think I put 30-second speed 4, but it probably could even be done in less time than that. I'll just listen to the machine. Let's get that done. Sounds like it's done to me anyway. So if you were doing this in a mixing bowl, it's just a little bit of elbow grease. Any mixer or food processor will do it, and as you can see, it's like a dough. So I'm now just going to scrape that out. For anyone that's a Thermomix person, I buy this one from Evident. It's a Xylus, I think it's called like a flipper. I think I put hopefully the links there anyway for you. I'll just have a quick check so I don't have to keep saying that. No, it's not. So there's I've got one in there for you. But it goes under the blades and it really gets the stuff out for you, and it hasn't crashed and burned as in had little bits taken out by the blades, etc. So I'm just going to get all my mix out. Okay. Now the mix will be slightly sticky and then it will start to firm a little bit. So let's get that off the blades. Happy Friday! Hope everybody's sitting back, unwinding. And for anyone that's watching this on the playback, I wish I was sitting back and unwinding. But I thought it was important to get on live and show you. Even though I've got the video on the premix page, I want you all to be extremely comfortable in how to make this. You know, it's not an already baked product, but I think it's better in that way because cooking, say like for instance the tortilla chips, you don't want to cook product, you actually want it still while it's like in the dough form. So what I'm now doing is I'm just doing, there was just something on the bottom of that Thermomix bowl. I'm just going on my silicone mat and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a kneading with my hand until it becomes like a smooth dough. And that does not take long. As you can see, like it's already starting to come together really nicely. So yeah, it's like really versatile. So anyway, roll it into a nice smooth bowl. Whenever you're rolling dough, whether it's one with gluten or one without, if you actually like slightly pull on the mat, you get a much better smoothness and ball. So like I kind of cup over and pull. Not that I'm any professional, so if anyone's like really good at this sort of thing, you can always send me tips. Because I love to share, you know, things that make everything a little bit easier for everybody. So then I've got my trusty, this one I've got from Thermomix, but you can buy these from just about everywhere. They're cake scrapers or dough scrapers, whatever. I cut the mixture, take that little bit of dough off my finger, and cut into 4. So then I'm just going to, again, put my hand over the dough and roll it into a ball. So because I'm about to actually roll this between 2 pieces of baking paper, I'm going to actually turn on my hot plate. You can turn it on, whether you turn on, wrong one, whether you turn it on low or high. I'm going to stick it on like a medium heat. I'm just going to wash my hands because I don't need to have any dough on it now. So basically, you are just going to roll out any portion of the dough, whether you just pull a small piece off or a large piece off, just depends on the size of the wrap that you want to make. So the pack makes 8 large wraps, and for other things like the matchsticks and stuff like that, it makes a ton. Sorry, I just want to take it off. So yeah, it just depends on what you're making, how much yield you'll get out of it, or what size wraps you want. So you can make like things like tortillas, taco wraps and things like that as well too. So I'm going to use a plate this size today to actually cut mine. You can use like saucepan lids or whatever to cut yours, and then I'm just going to cover it over. So I put it on one baking sheet, put it on another one. It could be straight onto the silicone, but I just find it very easy because I can sometimes, if it doesn't want to peel off really easy, I just lift the baking paper over to the crepe pan and pop it on from there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab out my rolling pin and I'm going to roll this out, but I'm just going to call Dave in so he can actually get the video in and show you what I'm doing with the camera up nice and close, and you'll be able to see just how thin we get this. So Dave, are you there? Alright, so the camera's just about to be moved around a little bit. So I have pretty much put this underneath my baking paper. I'm now like pressing, so when you do this, don't like press really hard and drag because that will make it really thin and then really thick. So I just like rock back and forward, give it a half turn, rock back and forward. Now see how this paper's actually like crinkling a little bit? I just lift it off, make it flat again, turn it around whichever way I want, because I am really going to try and get this dough as thin as I can. Like, you want it to almost be able to be seen through. And yeah, the paper will sometimes grab at the dough. Just keep rolling, getting it out nice and thin. It is a little bit of work, but trust me, it's so worth it. The snuffling you hear is not great, it's storming. She always like to put on a bit of a show for you when I'm live. You can see like that's coming out nice and thin. And now if I pull this back, you see it doesn't stick to the paper at all. Well, it might a little bit, but you can see that's almost like sheer. Sorry for our crappy lighting. We're actually just starting to update some of the lighting in the house, which is nice. Anyway, let's see. If I put my mold that I'm going to use over it, I can see I need a little bit more here and a little bit more there. So that can be just as simple as coming over here, slicing up a bit of the dough. See how easy that comes off the baking paper? Pop it over here for a bit of patchwork. Same over here. I'm going to take maybe a little bit from here and a little bit from here, just so I don't have to do it again. Patch that up again. Pop that on. Roll, roll, roll. So if you've got any, oops, I got a little bit of dough on my rolling pin. If you've got any questions regarding the mixture, pop them in the thread, because once I finish rolling this one out and cooking this for you, I'm not going to do the whole packet. But what I'm going to do is just answer any questions. So you see if it like sticks at any point, just pull it. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop my plate in where I want to trim it. You can run a knife around, or you can just use one of these cutters. The dough easily comes away from the rest of it, and like that. Thanks, sorry for that. Okay. So you can see when I peel this off, should be able to gently peel this away. And then I'm going to take that over to my pan. Just pop it straight onto the pan. And as the packet says, it's around 10 to 20 seconds that you're going to use on the heat. It does very quickly start to cook, and you can see it there. So got a little bit of steam. I'm going to give that a swizzle, and I'm going to turn it over. Now see how that's just got like a little bit of dimpling? That's what you're looking for a soft wrap. I might do the other side just a little bit longer, but if I was going to just do a soft wrap or use it for a pasta, I would do both sides equally, just like this one. So that's what the other side looked like. But now, if I wanted to do a tortilla or a taco, I might take it till it gets that little bit of a golden fleck. So we're just going to wait another few seconds, and we'll probably get that on the other side. But see, like straight away, this is like a super soft wrap that you could have. But yeah, a tortilla has a little bit more of a consistency to it, so I would just leave it on there until it's got a little bit of gold onto it. You can cook them further, and they'll actually like be like a tostada chip or something like that. So if you wanted to do a stack with a crispy wrap, you can cook them that way as well, rather than cook them in the oven. So you can see how you're getting that little blister that you actually would traditionally see within a tortilla. So yeah, this is like how easy these little breads are. Now I'm going to just take that one off now, but you can see like the little gold flecks, all nice. And again, if you wanted to bake this later or fry it in a pan with oil in that as well too, it'll blister up even more. So that is how easy it is to make. Bring back onto our stand. Thank you, Dave. But as you can see, like, they are super soft. They're everything that we've been saying over the whole time. Very easy to do. You saw me just whip up one in no time. Now, I know. I've got one in here somewhere. Okay, so this was the dough. What did I make recently? Can't remember. Matchsticks. So I did the matchsticks a couple of days ago. This is the dough from the matchsticks, and as you can see straight away, it's perfectly like just the same as this dough. Now, Linda had said to me today that she just used for the, what did she make today? The tortilla chips. Her dough had been in the fridge for 2 weeks, and it was still perfect. So for anyone that just is using this for themselves, you can make up the entire mix, and just like this, so you put all your trimmings back when you've rolled it out thin, and you can just put that into a Ziploc bag or into cling wrap as I have, pop it in your fridge, and then just bring it out and roll it whenever you want. Alternatively, you can actually make the breads, put them in a Ziploc bag, store them in the fridge, and they'll keep for a week or more. They're just adjusting their camera. Or you can even put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer as well. So the shapes in that are not limited to that one as well. One of the things we did that a lot of people are asking me that as well too is like a dumpling, right? So I've got a dumpling maker link in that as well too, just with an Aussie one, but you can go onto Amazon or whatever else and and buy a whole lot of these. They're probably on eBay in that as well too, for a low cost. And I'll just quickly roll out a small one because I'll show you what I do when I'm making the dumplings. So as I said, I will be putting all the recipes mainly on Instagram. It's just that the website takes me forever. You don't realise, well, you think all those blog posts and that are a waste of time. We've got to do tags and names and alt texts and things and keywords and lots of things. So it just takes me literally a day to do a whole post for any recipe that you see that I put up for free. But if I put it on Instagram, I can just take a photo of it, I can write down what the ingredients are, and you guys can make it. Now, talking of that too, of Instagram, on the back of your packet, a couple of things you should notice. There's a QR code, so you can scan that with your phone, and that will take you directly to our premix page where we'll actually have the FAQs. So if I'm getting any other questions over time, we'll be adding those to that page. We'll also be adding more stockists. Now, we've got more stockists that have come on board since the bread was released, and they'll be added to that page tomorrow and that as well too. So you can see if there's a stockist local to you. Alternatively, you can go through Keto Australia, who are shipping now. They have, I think it's spend $120 and you get shipping for free, or it's a $9.95 flat rate. So very easy. These are only $9.99 by the way, recommended retail. But also you'll see on here, we've actually got a hashtags, Mad Keto Wraps. So if you're going to be making these at home, making your own dumplings or whatever, and you're on Insta or Facebook, just share it with the Mad Keto Wraps so that we can see what everybody's making at home. And that will also make it better. Let's just say all of a sudden you come up with, I don't know, one of the things Linda did the other day was a quiche. So she took one of the circles of dough, placed it over the top of an inverted ramekin, and created a pastry cup, and then she filled that with quiche mixture. You could do the same thing with that and fill it with our easy custard and bake it in the oven for a Portuguese tart. So there is a lot of different ways that you could use it. So without rolling out too much, I would normally go thinner because I'm just a tight ass. So I want to get the most out of my mixture, and trust me, when we did dumplings the other day, I don't know, I think I wrote it down. How many we got? We got tons, way more than anyone would eat. But I used a large egg ring. I think I just probably got this from Big W or Kmart I don't know, a century ago. And you can easily just cut these out. Now, again, like I said, I'm not going to do too many of these. I'm just going to roll up my dough. And you can do this as often. Honestly, it doesn't even, if in a bread you roll out the bread too much or work the dough too much, it can become tough and doesn't rise or anything like that. But this seems to have no problems at all. I'm just going to roll that out a little bit thinner because that was a little bit too thick for my liking. And I'm just going to cut again. So for a dumpling, again, see how easy that is? And I can lift it off my baking paper. You can still do, spoonful of dumpling, fold over, pinch, 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 pinch. Let's see that I don't stick this together now by doing that. Nope. These make it easier, that as well too. What I do when I put this in here is I put it in and I stretch it just that little bit. Hold it down and stretch out. I've just got like a little bit of mixture here. So dumplings, the ones I did in the steamer that I did in the Thermomix, they were a pork and kale, like an organic pork and kale mixture, like pork mince. And you can do like that, and then I steam them, and then I fry them in a little bit of oil to make like pot stickers. Can I just say, like, I was a huge fan of dumplings and pot stickers prior to keto, and well, I've done cabbage ones and that for Fast and Fresh ebook a couple of years ago. These things like kicked ass. We had them like with like nice chili oil, a little bit of coconut aminos, and they were like amazing. A lot of nice toasted sesame oil and that in it, and very low carb. So with these, yeah, you just be like putting like a teaspoon, as you always would with a dumpling. You pull it out a little bit. I'm just careful when I pull this over, and then you just like press. Pull that over. So a little bit on this side. And press. Ding. These cute little dumplings. So these can be steamed, or they could even just be completely like just popped into a pan with a little bit of oil and butter, and fried up into your pot stickers. Or you can pop them in the oven and bake them and that as well too. This particular one, which I've just done with cream cheese, Mexican jack cheese, jalapenos and ham, I'd say did show you some pictures of these. I just fried these in a little bit of coconut, oh no, actually did lard. So I love the lard, because, sorry, totally different, but I love the lard in them, like cooking in it. It was my first time actually cooking with lard, which seems really weird, seeing we've been keto for 3 years. But the smell, that's something I did not like. But yeah, that's really easy. So you can fill any one of these very simply. They're like, you know, if you do it with this sort of way, with the cream cheese kind of thing, it's like, I don't know what they used to be called, but when I grew up there was like these little things called crispy pancakes, and they had fillings in them and they were really yummy. But you know, you could do this like empanada style or dumpling style and that as well too. So come up with a nice little hash kind of thing to go inside it, and it'll be really yummy. Now I don't know. Oh, so for those of you, because I put up the recipe for the tortilla chips. So you already know how to do that anyway. I've got some cream horn things here. So again, with the cream horns, you could just roll it out and do it around these, and then you just pop them in like in a small saucepan of hot oil, and then when they come out, you let them cool, and then you just like pop them off the mold. Cannoli tubes. Oh, I didn't get out my fake cannoli tubes. Cannoli tubes are also available at Ellam and eBay, anywhere else that you want to like look around. But what I did, wind that back a bit. You can do a fake one. It works. It's not as easy as it is to pull those ones off. But because this is soft, it can be pulled out like a ribbon. So all I did to do a fake cannoli tube without having to spend $10 or something like that, if you're going to buy a few things from somewhere, is I just rolled it loosely into whatever size I want. So if I wanted to make that inner rim of my cannoli, which is pretty big, and then I just wound around, not the cooked one, but I just added my dough around it. And you could still do that in your circle, like a traditional cannoli, or a rectangle, and just roll it around, then fry it, again, let it cool, and then just pull. Mine did all come out perfectly. I mean, I think you saw what I'd done with some of the pastries and that I put in the video anyway. So yeah, so you can do a fake one, or you can buy cannoli tubes. I think they're roughly about $15 for a set of 4. So that would be even like something that you could possibly fry and then like piping different things inside it, not just having it as a sweet pastry. If you're doing sweet things with them too, you can sprinkle them with a little bit of powdered sweetener. As you know, I use sucre and meatless because it's already that way, and I'm supporting an Aussie business. I know it's produced in Norway, but you know, sucre in Australia is an Australian business. Over swerve because that's American. It's just bought into a lot of the businesses and that as well anyway, and no one's dealing that directly. So I'm going to have a quick look at what your questions are, because I'm sure there might be a few. Well, I'm hoping there's a few anyway. Okay, so let me just go on here. I'm just going to turn this volume down so I don't have to hear myself, because I think I actually have to open it up to see all your questions. Yes, turn that down. Okay, hey Rachel. Look at supporting a small business and there's somebody I see straight away. Okay, can't wait for my wrap mix. Oh, awesome. So we don't really have any questions anyway that I can see. I don't think there's any. So yeah, it is all back in stock. Yes, we sold out in the first 24 hours of releasing them all, but all 3 products. So your wraps and that can do, like I said, so many different things. You've got the pizza base. Now, it should be noted that all of these products are all gluten-free, grain-free, sugar-free, dairy-free. They're keto-friendly, paleo-friendly, diabetic-friendly, very friendly. The pizza base is a very crispy base that holds together like a thin and crispy pizza. To be honest, I have tried every product on the market of pizza bases and that keto, so-called pizza bases, wraps and the breads, and I worked really hard to try and bring out products that I think are far better than anyone else's. You'll find on the back of the packaging, which you can also see on the Keto Eat sites and probably all our stockist sites and that as well too, we've gone into a lot of trouble to create a very easy to read instructions with tips and that as well. Plus we've got the premix products page on our website with a lot of FAQs. And like I said, if you've got any questions, because you're watching this back later, pop them in the thread. I will go onto the FAQs and add those over the weekend. So we've got the pizza bases, and then we've got the Mad Creation sandwich bread, which is a not seedy keto bread. Yes, it's not my gluten bread, the low carb bread. All the products are gluten free, so totally different bread. You can even try this again with some yeast if you wanted to get more of a rise. Just put some yeast in your do a yeast starter like the others, give it a little bit of extra puff. That could be worth a trick in that as well too. But you know, you can use these, like the pizza base can be used for calzones, a pie crust or a quiche crust and things like that too. Sweet crusts, pizza crusts on their own, so you could be putting like a little bit of pesto and stuff like that on them, and having like some olives and roasted vegetables or whatever, and meats, and that's just top onto the top of a nice crispy crust. So anyway, I'll just have a look, and I think that's pretty much it. So I think you can see, really easy. It's not sticky. That was straight out of the packet. That was my first go with the dough. And as I said, this is one that's been in the fridge for a week. You can't see it, but it's cold right now, but it just feels exactly the same as the other one. So we'll be having lots of wraps over the next few days and different things that I'll be showing you. But anyway, I hope you have at least enjoyed having a little look at seeing them live, because I do think that is important sometimes to see these sort of products. There is some keto products like other wraps on the market, but they're more like the psyllium style. These ones actually have no psyllium in them. So you're going to get like, well, you've seen it. Here it is here. So even if like I pull on that, you can see, and this is like after it's completely cool, so you can still see nice and soft, but it's got that, oh, I did tear it. It does have a real wrap feel about it. The smell of it is even really lovely. There is no bad flavour in regards to these kind of wraps. I honestly think that they're better than any of the previous flour wraps that I ever made before. And if you've never heard me before and never seen anything that I've done before, one of the biggest things that I ever made prior to being keto was Mexican food, and I made a lot of tortillas, lot of different kinds of Mexican breads and had a lot of wraps in my time, and I would rate these better tasting than all of them. And I'm not just saying that because I made up the recipe, but they are really that good. So I hope you all love it, and I want to see your wraps. So please remember to tag us with the Mad Keto wraps. You've got Mad Keto pizza or Mad Keto bread or sandwich bread. Tag on that one. So Mad Keto sandwich for this one. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good Friday night. Let's just have a quick look and just see. If I wanted to make ravioli and steam them, how long would I steam them for, please? If you're going to make ravioli with them, I'd only do it for like a couple of minutes, if anything. Again, then probably do them like into your sauce, because whatever sauce you're going to use, whether it's cream-based, tomato-based, butter-based, because I see, you know, a burnt sage butter or something like that would be lovely with ravioli. I would just probably only do 1 to 2 minutes and then just pop them in. But it would depend on what the filling is going to be. So whether it's vegetarian or meat, you want to make sure that the meat is cooked inside. And of course with a ravioli, you would be using probably around about 1/4 teaspoon, unless you're doing like the raviolo with the big one. But yeah, I would just, you know, maybe do a tester, just depending on the size, but just do 1, see how long that takes, and then do the rest of them and serve them. But yeah, I would still not just do it steamed. I would do that little bit into the pan. To me, it's still not quite pasta. That might be something we're working on. But yeah, I would just do it depending on the size of filling. Let's see. Can I move in? Sonia, trust me, we rarely eat. Well, we don't really, we do eat. Dave has been making us a bacon and egg sandwich just about every day for about a week. I haven't got bored of them, by the way. And they're with our new chili sauce that's coming out too, jalapeno sauce. It's amazing. But yeah, I will be making we've got a beautiful meatloaf, Italian meatloaf coming up onto the website within a week. And I'm making that tomorrow because I've got to photograph it in natural light, so if I cooked it now, it's going to look crap tomorrow. But yeah, a lot of the time we don't even have food. We've got a lot of ingredients. I'm still looking at another table full of ingredients that I just got delivered of things. But yeah, it's not as good as it seems. Okay, so hi Max. Thanks, Linda. Can't wait for my wrap mix to arrive. Look, honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of really happy people. Yeah, we're being really stoked, and we were like amazed. Like, it was so cool. We crashed the website. More traffic than ever before because he's all wanted pizza pastes and wrap mixes, and those of you who still hadn't already got the breads. But yeah, the bread sold out in the same day, and those were too. I'm wondering if the keto wrap mix can be used to make sausage rolls, as my hubby is not keen on the fathead dough. It could, but it wouldn't be nice. I don't think so. It's if anything, it would be more like having a sausage roll with a short crust. So not really the same. I'm working on some other things that might be okay, but yeah, not with this dough. And nice to hear from you, Rachel. Have you put the dough on a cream horn mold? Yes, I have, and there is pictures. So if you go onto our Facebook group, and even just maybe do a keyword search of cream horn, you'll actually see the cream horns. And also on my Instagram, so my Instagram is Megan Ellam, which is instagram.com/Megan Ellam. I posted Linda cream horns. They looked amazing as well. So like I just made it, I was just goofing around one night and made them all different ways. And then Linda's like, ooh, I like that. So I'll make them. And she did, and she made a great job of it too. So her recipes and that will all be on her Instagram as well, which you'll be able to find on there as well. How do you put the dough on? Oh, sorry, I read it the wrong way. Okay, so I'll just quickly roll that one for you. So you could do it 2 ways. You know how some cream horns are traditionally like done in strips and then they're wound around? So let's just do both. And again, like I said, with these to fry them, I would fry them in probably like a coconut oil. Because if you did like lard for a sweet-based pastry, not nice. And your olive oils and that have such a low smoke point, it's not worthwhile. roll this out. And like even if you pour the dough, it's just like just put it back together. Not that mine's hollow, but you know, it's not. You don't have to be a pro at rolling out all pastry work. Trust me. So if I was going to do this, I'd use the egg ring mould. So again, these are a larger egg ring. I do understand it here, so you can see the difference. Like I think I got these from like, they might be from House or Kmart or something like that. I honestly don't remember I've had them that long. So when I do my cream horn, I should have done a bigger mould for this, but anyway, you'll get the gist of it. So it depends on whatever size you do. I just literally wrapped that around the mould, right? But, as I said, you could roll it out long. Normally, and that's actually a really good thing to show. This still does not tear even with a normal knife, which you know I usually would use a pizza wheel when I do anything. I would, again, I would roll this out longer. So I'd have a longer sheet. So let's just see. I can just even probably join those two together. Probably can. And then I would just start at one end. And roll. Forgive my join. Now you can choose to fry, air fry, bake. Now when I do this, I actually like to sprinkle a little bit of the powdered sweetener, which I, like I say, use as super. If you have a high speed blender, you can always make your own powdered sweetener out of your favourite sweetener as well. And then I would just like powder that, even though I'm going to powder it afterwards, and bake it because kind of like a creme brulee, it will give that like a little bit of crispy sweetness to it because the actual dough is savoury, well it's neutral. So if you also wanted to make a sweet pastry, you could add a little bit of powdered sweetener to your mixture when you go to mix it up to make a sweet pastry, and that as well too. So like for the matchsticks and things like that, you could do that in. You could add like vanilla or some extracts into your mix. But again, yeah, once that goes into the fryer and that as well, if you go to pull it off straight away, they're still going to be soft, but they crisp up after cooling. So, and I think it's kind of like the shrinkage and that as well too. And they do pull away. Sometimes it's a little bit of a, but they do come off. So I think that's probably prettier, the wrapped way. And that was me just doing it like that. So, you know, you probably do it better. Like, you might start on one and it might be pretty crappy, and then the next one you go, oh, that's better. That's a better way of doing it. So that's how I pretty much cook. So I hope that helps you, Tess. Thank you for sharing your recipes. No worries at all, Marcella. Done the ravioli questions. Your products and recipes are amazing. Thank you, Sonia. We've done that. I do a pumpkin soup. Yeah, I haven't followed that thread. Thanks ever so much. Thanks for that. Okay, so if there's any other questions, I'm not seeing them. What's up next? No, that's just other up next things. Okay, so I think that's it. But like I said, you can see this stuff is pretty easy to use. And yeah, there's just so much potential. There's things that you can make with it that I think you're going to be looking at it kind of like a baking flour that is extremely versatile, and it's only the limit of your imagination as to what you can really make with this dough. There's no slimy mouth feel, you know, so it's yeah, it's just really, really good. But anyway, it's Friday night, Nelly's all go. Saturday night. It's Saturday night. Oh, I'm getting it wrong. It's Saturday night. That's what happens when you work at home. Happy Saturday night. Okay. Thanks. thanks for tuning in, and I hope you all love your mix, and I want to see your hashtags of your Mad Keto Pizza, Mad Keto Wraps, and Mad Keto Sandwich. And I will catch us all